The film begins in 1974, casting us into a cold, eerie past. A young girl, alone at home, notices a strange vehicle pulling up outside her house. Driven by innocent curiosity, she wanders out to see who has arrived, but to her confusion, the car is empty. Suddenly, muffled voices drift from the back of the house. She follows the sound, searching for a face, yet finds no one. But in a heart-stopping beat, a grotesque, towering figure manifests directly behind her. His skin is a deathly, bloodless white, pale as a ghost and deeply unsettling. Without showing his full face, he whispers a chilling promise into her ear, "Your birthday is coming." Fast forward several years. We meet Lee, a young FBI agent with a sharp, intuitive edge, as she and her team prepare to apprehend a dangerous criminal. While scouting a neighborhood, Lee pauses before a specific house, gripped by an unexplainable gut feeling that the suspect is hiding inside. Her partner dismisses her hunch, confidently stepping up to the door. But the moment he knocks, Lee's instinct is proven lethally correct. The criminal swings the door open and guns down the agent instantly. Lee, having crouched in cover, manages to survive. Trembling but focused, she enters the house with her weapon drawn. She finds the culprit sitting calmly, and to her surprise, he surrenders without a fight. Following the incident, Lee undergoes a series of psychological and physical tests. The results reveal something extraordinary: Lee possesses latent supernatural abilities. It was this psychic shining that allowed her to sense the killer's presence. Recognizing her gift, the FBI assigns her to work with Senior Agent Carter on a case that has haunted the Bureau for decades. They stand before a quiet suburban home, once a place of joy, now a grisly crime scene. In a recurring nightmare, the father of this family had suddenly snapped, slaughtered his wife and children, and then taken his own life. This wasn't an isolated tragedy. Dozens of families had met the exact same fate over the years. At every scene, a coded letter was left behind, signed with the cryptic name, Longlegs. Despite the different locations, the handwriting was always identical, suggesting that Longlegs was somehow orchestrating these massacres from the shadows, though he was never physically present. Lee dives into the files and uncovers a terrifying pattern. Every victimized family had a 9-year-old daughter, and every massacre occurred on a girl's birthday, specifically, those born on the 14th of any month. As she peels back the layers, she discovers that Longlegs never physically committed the murders. He had an accomplice. During a break in the case, Lee drops Agent Carter at his home, meeting his wife and daughter. The little girl leads Lee to her room, excitedly mentioning that her birthday is coming up and insisting Lee attend the party. When Lee returns to her own home, a phone call with her mother reveals a jarring detail: Lee's own birthday is also fast approaching. Mid-conversation, a violent pounding erupts at her front door. She rushes out, but the porch is empty. Peering through the window, she catches a glimpse of a distorted shadow lurking in the dark. By the time she gets outside with her gun, the figure has vanished. Back inside, she finds a letter sitting on her table that wasn't there before. It warns, "Do not open until January 14th. Unable to wait, Lee, whose birthday falls on that very date, tears it open to find a "Happy Birthday" message written in the same haunting Longlegs code. The killer has found her. Lee frantically begins decoding the symbols. Meanwhile, Carter calls her to another scene, the decomposed remains of a family murdered a month prior. Again, the victim was a 9-year-old born on the 14th. The weight of the failure starts to break Carter. Sensing the danger, Lee tells her mother she can only visit on her birthday. Her mother's response is a chilling reminder: "You must pray, Lee. Only prayer protects us from the devil." Lee's investigation takes a mathematical turn. When she plots the murder dates on a calendar, they form an inverted triangle, a notorious satanic symbol. Only one date is missing to complete the geometry, the 13th of the coming month. She realizes Longlegs is about to strike again. His letters frequently mention the Camera family as his greatest work. In that specific past case, the father had killed everyone, including a visiting priest, but the daughter, Carrie, survived because she was at school. Lee finds Carrie in a psychiatric ward, catatonic and broken. Searching the old Camera farmhouse, Lee and Carter discover a hidden trunk containing a life-sized, realistic doll that looks exactly like a young Carrie. Upon examining it, they find a dense metallic sphere embedded inside the doll's head. When Lee touches the doll, she is hit by a wave of psychic nausea and horrific visions. She realizes these dolls are conduits for pure evil. A flashback reveals Longlegs, his pale, surgically altered face finally visible, painstakingly crafting these dolls. We see him in a hardware store, acting erratically and terrifying a young clerk by asking about her birthday, his presence oozing a sickening, demonic energy. Later, we see Longlegs alone in his car, screaming in a fit of rage because the girl he encountered didn't have a birthday on the 14th. Back at the asylum, Lee and Carter learn that Carrie has suddenly started talking after 20 years of silence. The staff mentions a visitor named Lee came to see her. Realizing Longlegs used her name to gain access, Lee confronts Carrie. Through a series of disjointed memories seen through the eyes of a doll, Carrie describes the night her family died. She claims she will do anything for the man who visited her, even kill Lee or herself. She mentions a Mr. Downstairs, hinting at a demonic master. As Agent Carter digs into Lee's childhood, he finds a police report filed by Lee's mother about a strange man visiting their home just before Lee's 9th birthday, an event Lee has no memory of. Lee returns to her mother's house to demand answers. Her mother is unrecognizable, laughing at the idea of prayer and claiming it's useless. After spotting a shadow in the kitchen, Lee's repressed memories flood back. She was the girl from the opening scene. She finds an old photo of Longlegs in her mother's belongings. Armed with this lead, the FBI finally captures Longlegs. In the interrogation room, he sings a chilling birthday song for Lee and taunts her, but there is no physical evidence linking him to the murders. He tells Lee to ask her mother about the truth. Then, in a final act of devotion to his master, he brutally kills himself by smashing his head against the table. Simultaneously, news arrives that Carrie has jumped to her death from the asylum roof. Lee races back to her mother's house, only to find a fellow agent dead on the floor. The horrifying truth is revealed: Lee's mother was the accomplice all along. To save Lee's life years ago, she made a deal with Longlegs and the devil. She had spent years delivering the possessed dolls to families, acting as the black nun who facilitated the slaughter. Longlegs hadn't been hiding in the woods, he had been living in the basement of Lee's own home for decades. Lee remembers it's Carter's daughter's birthday and rushes to his house. She arrives too late to stop the influence, a doll is already in the room. Under a demonic trance, Carter kills his wife and turns on his daughter. With no other choice, Lee shoots and kills Carter. When her own mother picks up a knife to finish the ritual by killing the child, Lee is forced to pull the trigger again, killing her mother. She tries to destroy the doll, but her gun clicks, empty. The film ends on a haunting note as Lee stares at the doll, her expression turning cold and vacant. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.